Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And the news at 10 starts tonight on road safety concerns. More Connecticut drivers say fellow motorists are more erratic than ever before. Thanks for joining us this first Friday night of 2025. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Experts say more drivers are blowing through red lights. I witnessed many today. And that makes our roads more dangerous and increases the number of deadly crashes.
We sent Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot to investigate the trend, and she has more for us tonight.
Safety experts say it's the basics that aren't being followed on Connecticut's roads. Things like using a turn signal when switching lanes or keeping both eyes on the road. And that's what's putting everyone at serious risk.
They're just crazy.
I think they're really crazy and they don't pay attention to the other people that are on the road.
A relatively negative consensus among Connecticut drivers when it comes to how others drive throughout the state. And many feel it's gotten worse since the pandemic.
We're at or above pre-pandemic levels, and the speeds have not come back down. So we're seeing far more crashes, far more serious injuries, and far more fatalities on our roadways because of the actions of Connecticut drivers.
These trends are concerning for a lot of people in our state.
They make it very unsafe when they're driving fast, especially in traffic in areas where it's very populated around here.
Almost every person we spoke to in West Hartford Center encountered an incident on their way to dinner Friday night.
We were on our way here down to West Hartford and we weren't even doing anything and the guy was driving recklessly and flipped us off.
I was on the highway on 84 coming to West Hartford, and there's people going at really high rates of speed and lane splitting, so they're going in and out between different cars while people are braking and going to cause an accident if they don't slow down.
The Department of Transportation says there are a number of factors causing these poor driving habits.
They are speeding, they are running through red lights, they're not paying attention because they're invested on their social media apps or their text messages instead of keeping their eyes on the road.
I've been in multiple accidents. I was rear-ended 2 months ago, and it causes injury, and potentially you could kill somebody.
If you ever see a car swerving or driving dangerously, officials say you should not be afraid to call 911 and alert police because their safety and the safety of others is paramount. In West Hartford, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Kay, thank you. Time now for a first check on the forecast, and meteorologist Deshawn Robinson joining us now.
Yeah, Deshawn, so what can people expect this weekend?
Well, this weekend is definitely a weekend to layer up because it's going to be cold. Temperatures are likely to only climb into the mid-30s for this weekend. Winds will be rather gusty too. Those gusts could reach 30 miles per hour tomorrow. Then we are watching a major winter storm which will miss New England on Monday, and then much of next week will be rather cold and dry. So it's pretty dry right now across much of New England, partly cloudy skies. Still tracking some lake effect snow showers that are impacting parts of western New York, Pennsylvania, and also the Ohio Valley. Tonight will be a partly cloudy to mostly clear night with our temperatures falling into the lower 20s to the mid-20s, 27 along the shoreline, and 25 for those of you in the inland areas. Mid-30s for your highs on Saturday. Breezy also with a mix of sun and clouds and chance for some flurries. Now, as we head through the day on Saturday, our winds will reach about 30 miles per hour, and I'll let you know more about next week's weather coming up.
Deshawn, thank you. In Wallingford, a homeowner faces serious gun charges after he called police and reported someone was trying to break into his home. 60-year-old Joseph Zotter was arrested yesterday morning and arraigned today. Police say they did not find an intruder at Zotter's home, but they did uncover 6 guns and ammunition. Zotter is prohibited from owning firearms because of a restraining order against him. A judge set Zotter's bond at $150,000. He is scheduled to appear in New Haven court later this month.
Sacred Heart University suspended an employee in their athletic department. We've learned he was arrested in Bloomfield. Matthew Janik faces 4 charges related to alleged illegal sexual contact with a minor. Janik is an associate director of athletic communications. The school says he'll stay suspended while an investigation plays out. He'll be in court in February.
And the countdown is on for 11 people people in search of a new home after they were displaced from the Concord Hills apartments in Hartford. Next Friday, their temporary housing will expire. Officials with the Connecticut Tenants Union says they will be without a place to stay if that happens. The city of Hartford extended that temporary housing after displaced families fought for something to be done. Dozens have been out of that apartment complex since August after an electrical fire there. And since that time, those displaced say repairs and construction have yet to be finished to allow them to move back into their apartment homes.
Well, tomorrow marks the beginning of remembrance events for President Jimmy Carter in his home state of Georgia. It's a packed schedule before the 39th president is brought to Washington for his funeral next Thursday. Carter had many Connecticut connections. He famously lived in New London during his time in the Navy, but ties to our state continued well into his later years and after his time in the White House. Fox 61's Stephen Reel spoke to an archivist at Central Connecticut State University who shared video of a historic speech Carter gave on campus.
While the roads of this campus might be quiet now during winter break, that's actually far from what they were 40 years ago, when thousands of people flooded into this auditorium to experience a historic moment.
It is an unparalleled honor now to present to you this evening to speak on American leadership in a changing world, 39th President of the United States of America, Mr. Jimmy Carter.
The date was April 16th, 1985, when President Jimmy Carter walked into these thunderous applause at Central Connecticut State University. It was such a highly anticipated day, the university had to move the advanced lecture series Carter spoke at to a bigger hall.
Coming in from the airport, it really thrilled me to see a group of students standing there waiting to welcome me and to make me feel at home.
Having President Jimmy Carter to come to Central was extremely important, and he was also the first person to receive honorary degree.
Shortly after Carter passed, Central archivist Renata Vickery dove into the university's past to find records of this historic event. She gathered photos, newspaper articles, and the program from the event. Even the framed citation, which was read the night Carter received his honorary degree.
The lecture series was funded by the Vance Foundation to promote peace, to promote equality, to promote education, and he delivered a lecture titled American Leadership in a Changing World. He was able to bring President of Israel and President of Egypt together to the table and negotiate. And this takes a lot of diplomatic skills. And as we know, the same topic is very relevant today.
A lecture which resonated with attendees on what proved to be a legendary night, according to papers in the days to follow. A night not only filled with information, but Carter's love for his country and its people.
My answers have been perhaps a little bit over long, but they've been from the heart. And I'm grateful that you helped to give me a chance to be the President of the United States of America, the greatest nation on earth. Thank you.
And if you want to actually watch the speech yourself, you can go onto the school's YouTube page. And if you want to see any more of the historic display, you can head on down to the school's library from 8 to 4:45 during weekdays. In New Britain, Stephen Reels, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.